Please call the roll.
Calling the roll for the Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:02 a.m. We have Joseph Nani serving as an alternate for Meredith Turner.
Here.
Trevor Meckler serving as an alternate for Michael Hauser.
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Catherine Gallagher serving as an alternate for Chris Renee, County Executive.
Here.
Michael Chambers, Fiscal Officer, serving as Chairman.
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is the review and the approval of the minutes from January 13th. I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. Any public comment?
No public comment.
Let's go to our first item.
First item, new item for review, BC 2025-29, Department of Public Works rescinding BC 2023-819 dated December 18, 2023, which authorized an authority to apply for grant funds and a grant award with Ohio Department of Natural Resources National Park Service in the amount of $1,498,750 for the Beulah Park Euclid Beach Connector Trail in connection with the Cuyahoga County Lakefront Public Access Plan in the City of Cleveland for the period December 18, 2023 through December 17, 2025.
Nicole English with Public Works. This item was approved previously in 2023, and then afterwards, ODNR realized that we needed to have a three-party agreement with Metro Park signing, and the amount changed slightly, so I believe it was 2 weeks ago. We had the new agreement passed, so this is just cleaning up an old approval to get rid of it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. English. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nani. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Let the record reflect that Councilmember Robert Slepper is now present.
Okay, next item.
Next item, BC 2025-30, Department of Public Works recommended to declare one 2014 Ford E450 Q's mainline truck as surplus property no longer needed for public use. recommending to trade in said property for credit towards the purchase of one Ford E450 Q's camera truck in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 307.12H and submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to the Safety Company LLC, DBA Tech, in the amount not to exceed $414,000 for state contract purchase of one Ford E450 Q's camera truck for use by the Sanitary Engineering Division and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Department of Public Works. We're looking for approval of a purchase order with M-Tech. It's for the purchase of a new camera truck for our sanitary division. We're also trading in to the same vendor, M-Tech, one of our older models. It's a 2014. It's a completely stripped down camera truck, so in essence, it's just a box truck, so they're giving us a credit of $12,500. The procurement method is state of Ohio contract purchase, and again, this is a replacement for one of our 6 camera trucks with our sanitary division.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Nani. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-31, Department of Public Works submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Ohio Desk Company in the amount not to exceed $51,991 for state contract purchase of 9 laminate work surfaces, miscellaneous hardware, and reconfiguration of 111 existing Diebold workstations and seating at 1801 Superior Avenue, Cleveland, for the Board of Elections, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Matt Reimer with the Department of Public Works. As quick context, the Board of Control has seen a previous item for the new furnishings for 1801 Superior. Those furnishings are on site at 1801 Superior and are currently being installed for the Board of Elections relocation. This additional procurement, state contract purchase through Ohio Desk also is for the labor primarily to reconfigure the workstations that we received as part of the lease with 1801 Superior and ICP, the landlord. Also, we're converting 9 of the existing workstations to a managerial size, and there's some small parts and pieces in this to make that conversion in accordance with the design. Happy to answer any of your questions.
Matt, are there any questions from the board on the item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-32, Department of Public Works recommending an award and submitting an agreement with Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District and the total amount not to exceed $14,500 for technical assistance with various activities in connection with the implementation of soil and water conservation measures for the period March 27, 2025 through March 26, 2026, as listed in items A and B on the printed agenda.
Nicole English with Public Works. This is an agreement that we've had for many years with Soil and Water. They perform these services that we cannot, related to our environmental permits on sanitary.
Okay, Ms. English, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-33, Department of Housing and Community Development recommending an emergency rental assistance 2 loan to Northwest Neighborhood CDC or their designee in the amount not to exceed $75,000 for construction of 51 affordable housing units in connection with the Karam Senior Living Development Project in the city of Cleveland.
Good morning, Sarah Parks Jackson, Department of Housing and Community Development. This is additional funding to this project that we actually have been working with them since 2022. It is a senior building, and it will be above the new Walls Library. It's a significant project, and we've been trying to get it to move forward. There's other funding, county funding, federal funding in the project. This $75,000, which is our emergency rental assistance, $2 will fill the remainder of the gap, I've been told, but either way, they have been given a March 31st deadline to close all financial loans that they have with the county. So I'm asking approval to move forward with the additional $75,000.
Thank you, Sarah. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Schlepper. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-34, Fiscal Office on behalf of the County Executive's Office submitting a grant agreement with Cleveland Public Market Corporation via contract number 5101 in the amount not to exceed $400,000 to provide funding for construction and maintenance costs in connection with the restoration and modernization of the West Side Market in the city of Cleveland, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 3 years.
Good morning, Dominique Tatum, Fiscal Department. This is an agreement with the Cleveland Public Market Corporation, so this is just to provide funding for some renovations at the West Side Market.
Okay, Dominique, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-35, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Nexum Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $8,838.40 for the purchase of 8 10-gigabyte short-range SFP transceivers to be installed in the Palo Alto firewalls located at the Cleveland and Columbus data centers, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Thank you. Brianna Witt, Department of Information Technology. This purchase is for 8 transceivers from F5. What it is we put in F5 firewalls down in the Cleveland and Columbus data centers. F5 will not provide support for their firewalls unless it's their transceivers that are installed in conjunction with them. The reason we used Cisco receivers originally was because we have them on hand. And in this case, we will replace them with the F5 transceivers, and then we will put the Cisco ones back into our inventory. They get reused. Reason for exemption is this was cheaper than going under state contract or joint cooperative purchases.
Okay, thank you, Brianna. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is
Thank you.
approved. Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-36, Department of Human Resources recommending an award on RQ 14399 and submitting a contract with Troop HR Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $166,840 for employee compensation consulting services, effective upon signatures of all parties through December 31st, 2026.
Stephen Wood with Human Resources. Last year, we conducted an RFP for an employee compensation consulting firm. In the past couple of years, we've done a few various things regarding employee compensation. We realigned with the market. We just did a equity study, and a lot of employees saw adjustments to get everyone back into alignment with each other. To maintain all this work that we've done, it's been identified that we should have an employee consultant or employee compensation consultant come in and help us build out a comprehensive compensation philosophy in policy and the policies to keep that enacted. From that RFP, Troop HR was the highest scoring vendor. They were also the cheapest vendor that submitted.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Schlepper. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-37, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an amendment to a contract with Case Western Reserve University on behalf of the Begun Center for Violence Prevention at the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences for training and technical assistance to newly contracted grassroots and community-based organizations in performance data collection and evaluation services in connection with reclaimed grant activities for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2026, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $39,281.
Good morning, Jennifer Howard from Juvenile Court. This is to amend our contract with Case Western Reserve to extend our services to help our grassroots project.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-38, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an amendment to agreements with various municipalities for community diversion program services for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2026, to replace the insurance requirements effective January 1st, 2025, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $16,200 as listed for items A and B on the printed agenda.
Good morning, Jennifer Howard for Juvenile Court. This is an amendment to our community diversion programs. These are just 2 out of about 30 cities that we are doing business with for our community diversion program, and we're just asking to amend for time and money.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-39, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an amendment to a contract with Ohio Guidestone for trauma-informed mentoring services to the Promise Team youth population for the period July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2024, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2026, to increase the per diem rates and to replace the insurance requirements effective July 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $50,000.
Jennifer Howard for Juvenile Court. This is an amendment to extend a contract with Ohio Guidestone for our Promise Team program, and we're just trying to align it with all the rest of our contracts to end in 2026 and for additional funds until that time period.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-40, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Case Western Reserve University on behalf of the Begun Center for Violence Prevention at the Mandel School of Applied Social Sciences, and the amount not to exceed $13,000 for the provision of trauma training sessions and technical assistance to court staff for the period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2026, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
This is a contract with Case Western Reserve, Jennifer Howard with Juvenile Court, to continue the training for our staff for any trauma training or technical assistance that is needed in the courtroom to deal with the youth.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nani. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? The item is
Thank you.
approved. Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-41, Sheriff's Department submitting an amendment to a contract with TD Security Limited Incorporated for building security services at the William Patrick Day Center located at 2421 Community College Avenue, Cleveland, for the period July 1st, 2024 through January 31st, 2025, to extend the time period to January 31st, 2026, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $85,000, effective upon signatures of all parties.
Good morning, Lylea Latham from the Sheriff's Office. We are requesting a one-year extension for TD Security Limited for security services at the William Patrick Day Center in an amount not to exceed $85,000. And if you have any questions, I have Roger Mook here to address them.
Okay, we got a guest speaker. If there's any questions, feel free. Mr. McAleer, do you have a question? Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, then I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item's approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-42, Department of Public Safety and Justice Services recommending an award on RQ 15170 and submitting a purchase order with Boundtree Medical LLC and the amount not to exceed $268,029.84 for the purchase of 3,120 nerve agent antidote kits for Cuyahoga County first responders.
Good morning, Mary Beth Vaughn from Public Safety. And these kits are replacing expired kits for first responders throughout the county. This is a grant-funded purchase that was formally bid twice. Boundtree Medical was the only vendor who submitted either time. Both the project owner, Chief Bruce Elliott from Mayfield Heights, and Ohio EMA have approved the award.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Are there any questions from the board? I have a hard time with expired stuff, so. I think it's still usable.
I have a question.
Please.
So that's 3,120 kits, is that correct?
Correct.
And how many of those were used? Do we know that number roughly of the previous expired kits, or is that, and my guess is that this is something that we have to have on hand for the nerve agent.
So how many were used, I do not know. I can't tell you the history. So these these were originally purchased way back in like the 2010s from a grant. And then we went out, and those ones, when they came to expire, at the time, the manufacturer had a special going on. And so they replaced them throughout the county for free. But they're no longer doing that, which is why we're in this position where some of these kits have been expired for a number of years. And when you ask the first responders, it's like, if I have my choice of nothing or an expired kit, they're going to take the expired kit, as you're saying. But the reality is, at this point, we are now, in some of these cases, 4 and 5 years out about being expired. And there are grant dollars available specifically for this, that were approved for this purchase, which is why we're moving forward. You're welcome.
Very professional always, thank you. Any further questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-43, Department of Health and Human Services, Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, recommending an award on RQ 15114 and submitting a contract with CHN Housing Partners in the amount not to exceed $105,299 for utility assistance and financial consulting services for TANF eligible residents for the period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Good morning, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of Jobs and Family Services. The purpose of this program is to help families negotiate with utility companies the minimum payment needed to either restore or to maintain their services, and to also enroll them into utility assistance programs. We did issue an RFP for this. We actually issued it twice. The first time we didn't get any bids. The second time CHN responded. They have been the previous vendor and will again be this vendor for this coming year.
Thank you, Marcos. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Nani. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-44, Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, recommending an award and submitting a contract with Charter Communications LLC, DBA Spectrum Reach, in the amount not to exceed $40,335 for digital advertising and search placement services to recruit foster and adoptive parents for children in custody for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Good morning again, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of Children and Family Services. Again, the purpose of this contract is for search result placements during the calendar year 2025 for foster parent recruitment for Cuyahoga County. We did issue an informal bid, actually an informal RFP for this service, and we received 5 bids. Spectrum was the lowest of those 5 bids.
Okay, Marcos, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item?
I just had a general question.
Please.
As somebody that has adopted a child through the foster care system, I'm very, very interested in how you will settle on a particular, how you settled on a particular company, in this case, Charter Communications, with options in this case, or just generally speaking, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we did release an informal request for proposals. We did get 5 responses back. I think the department looks at all of them and weighs them. We have used Spectrum in the past, and we've been happy with Spectrum, and in this case, they were also the lowest bidder.
Sure. Any additional questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Moving on.
Moving on to exemptions, first item BC 2025-45. Department of Public Works, Division of Public Utilities, recommending to amend Board of Control Approval Number BC 2024-427 dated June 3rd, 2024, which authorized an alternative procurement process to release a request for proposals for rooftop solar and battery services that will permit cooperative purchasing by government, for-profit and nonprofit organizations, with the anticipated cost to be determined by the RFP, to add Compass Energy Platform as administrator of the RFP process and associated negotiations.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works. As Cheryl said, this is an amendment to a previously approved alternative procurement that'll identify Compass Energy as the administrator of the RFP. It's more of a clarification. We work with the law department. It wasn't clearly put in the previously approved item that identified them as the administrator of that RFP. We just want to make sure that it's clearly identified.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on.
Moving on to consent agenda items BC 2025-46 through BC 2025-49, with BC 2025-50 being held at the request of the department, and we have also, in addition to the other consent items, BC 2025-51 through BC 2025-52.
Okay. Take a couple moments, board members. If there's any questions, feel free to ask any of those. Okay. Are there any questions from the board on all of these items? If not, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nani. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The consent agenda items are approved as listed and noted. Moving on.
No other business?
No other business. Any public comment?
No public comment?
I will make the motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.